There were some things that happened on my journey to end the disease to please that totally blindsided me, and I want you to be prepared, so I'm gonna share them with you later on in this video. But first, here's what I did to stop saying yes and then regretting it later. You know, we're all taught that it's bad to be selfish, but I think we go to the extreme of what that means in trying to be a good person, and then we automatically fall into the habit of putting everyone else's needs before our own needs. So after many years, I finally recognized that my needs are valid and they deserve to be recognized and considered and accommodated. And I feel this really happened for me during the pandemic. You know, I feel like a lot of us got a little braver in terms of speaking up for ourselves and our well-being. So when I saw other people doing that for themselves, I realized that my wants and needs are just as important, and that there's so many ways that I can put clear boundaries in place to say no to things that weren't serving me. So the next thing is that I realized it's okay to keep people waiting. I don't reply to people's messages right away if it's something that I feel I need to think about. So let me show you how easy it is. ChatGPT, cool? All right, so I have a family member and...
I'm sorry, but I'm having trouble responding right now.
Oh.
Please wait a bit and try again.
Hold on, Lord. Okay, this is embarrassing. She went on a break. All right. I have a family member and they're always asking me to babysit their 3 kids.
I'm sorry, but I'm having trouble responding right now. Please wait a bit and try again.
I have a family member and they're always asking me to babysit their 3
I'm
kids.
sorry, but I'm having trouble responding right now. Please wait a bit and try again. How can I help you today?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I have a family member and they want me to babysit their 3 kids for them, but I'm not able to, but I'm afraid to say no because I really love them, I care about them, and also I feel really guilty. So what are some responses that I could say to them?
It's understandable to feel that way. You can be honest and kind. Here are a few ways to say no. 1. I'd love to help, but I'm unable to babysit right now due to some prior commitments. 2. I wish I could, but I need to focus on mention your own responsibilities. Maybe we can find another time or someone else who can help. 3. I really want to support you, but I'm not available to babysit at the moment. Is there another way I can help? Being honest and setting boundaries is important, and most people will understand.
Yeah. So use that, give it a try, and tell me, like, have you actually ever used ChatGPT or any other AI to help you properly word things? Something I've gotten really good at too is meeting people's needs on my own terms. I actually learned that from Curtis. Before I actually got my driver's license, I would be asking him all the time to drive me around the place. Sometimes he would give me a stipulation, which is fine. Like, I know he's willing to do it, but he might say something like, I'd have to leave at a certain time because he doesn't want to get caught in rush hour traffic, or, you know, leave a certain time because his plan was really just to rest and relax for the rest of the afternoon. And that's fine because I respect him and I respect his need to rest. I respect him as a person. And so that wouldn't bother me at all. Like, I was actually understanding about things like that. So I myself started practicing that type of thing too. And if they aren't willing to meet those stipulations, then it really makes me wonder if they really respect me. I did a video just last week about designing your life based on your values and priorities. Just based on me doing that, I became much clearer about what I want, how I want to be spending my time, and what really matters to me. And so it's become easier for me to not get caught in the flow of what everybody else wants if it doesn't align to what I want. I was completely shocked about what saying no would do. But as I said, I don't want you to go into this feeling blindsided too. I want you to be prepared. So here are 3 things you need to be prepared for when you actually start putting your foot down and saying no to things. If you've made it this far in the video, I'd encourage you to stay until the very end, because at the end of the video, I'm gonna share some journal prompts. And I feel like it's important that you don't miss those, because they're gonna help you figure out why saying no is difficult in the first place. And I really feel like they're gonna help you assert yourself more. All right, so back to those 3 things that you need to be prepared for. Number 1, be prepared to lose friends. I say that because when I was planning on making a trip to Jamaica, I had told this friend, and she wanted me to take down some stuff for her. She has that was lots of years ago, maybe like a 3-year-old daughter, and she wanted to send down some like cute little dresses and stuff for her. I mean, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take down a couple of things for you, no problem. And then she was like, oh, my roommate wants you to take down some stuff for her too. I was like, okay, sure. What does your roommate want me to take? She takes me to her roommate's room, and I kid you not, there was like 6 pairs of the biggest shoes I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, which men's feet are this big? I've never witnessed it myself, but they were huge. And I'm like, how am I gonna fit this in my tiny little carry-on? Like, seriously. So I had to politely say, you know, I won't have space for this. I would need like another bag. And listen, you know how it go already with like checking on bags and paying for extra luggage and all of that. Listen, if she wanted to give me an extra bag and pay for it, sure. But I mean, that wasn't the case, right? So I was like, yeah, I won't be able to take your stuff down for you. I remembered that my friend, she actually said that she had plans to visit Jamaica in the next like month. And I'm like, wait, aren't you due for a trip in the next month or so? Why don't you take your roommate's stuff? And you'd be able to also take your daughter's stuff too, unless it's urgent. I mean, let's be honest, it's not like she gave me medicine for her ill child. It wasn't anything like that, right? So, of course, confirmation, no, it's not anything urgent. She doesn't need it right away. So I'm like, great, problem solved. Moving on with life. This person started acting so weird towards me after that. Like, we used to talk all the time, like messaging each other, calling each other. And it's like all of a sudden, I couldn't hear from her. You know, she would either not respond to me or barely respond to me. Like in the conversations, she just always seemed bothered. And I'm very observant, and I can tell when people, they start switching up on me or they start acting funky or whatever. So I actually asked her, because
I think I'm pretty mature.
So I asked her about it. I'm like, hey, are you upset about that thing? And she denied it and said, no, it's not a problem, whatever, right? That was pretty much the end of that friendship. Be prepared to lose friends, because people just be like that sometimes. We, meaning adults, we just act like spoiled brats, and it is what it is. And just another thing that I've learned about saying no to people is a lot of times they want to challenge your decision on something. And it's okay to say like, listen, I understand the decision is disappointing to you, but it's what I'm comfortable with. And you don't have to worry about being rude. That's not rude. That's just showing that you're respecting their stance and yours, and hopefully they respect you enough. The next thing that I'm preparing you for is that you may have to explain yourself, because people are gonna ask you why or why not. And I know that there are some people who will tell you that, you know, no is a complete sentence. There are times where a simple no is just not appropriate for a job or for the preservation of your relationships. If that's the case and you feel like you really need to give an explanation, then I would say come prepared to give an explanation. And the third thing to be prepared for is be prepared to no longer feel like you're betraying yourself. You know, I'm learning that other people's reactions aren't my responsibility. I get that if someone wants something from me, it's going to be natural for them to feel disappointed if they don't get it. That's how I feel too when I don't get my way. But I also know that it's my choice to say no, and if they have an issue with that, then that's about them and that's not about me. Because in life, we need to teach people how we want to be treated. And of course, you don't want to be rude, but you want to respect their stance and yours too. And if everything I'm saying still seems way too hard to do, just remember it's gonna be harder to scramble to get out of something that you don't really want to do later than it is to say no up front. The biggest challenge of saying no is the feeling of guilt. But here's the secret that will help you to shift your mindset to let go of that guilt. You need to ask yourself why. Why do you feel the need to do it? There are certain obligations that we have, like going to work and getting the job done. And I'm sure when your credit card payment comes around, you don't call up the bank and ask them, why do I gotta pay you, right? But outside of these non-negotiables are things that we say we have to get done because of other people's expectations and sometimes even our own expectations. So the next time that you find yourself feeling like you should say yes to something, stop and examine why. And if you can't actually find a valid reason that's based off of what you value and prioritize in your life, then the right answer is usually no. So here are some journal prompts that I had promised you, and feel free to pause the video right here and just like take the time to answer them, okay? What situations or people make me feel obligated to say yes even when I want to say no? Why do I feel this way? How would my life change if I confidently set boundaries and said no when needed? What benefits would I experience? What is one small step I can take today to practice saying no with kindness and confidence? How will I feel after doing it? I know saying no can feel uncomfortable, especially when you're worried about how other people are gonna react. But remember, every time you choose to honor your own needs and priorities, you're building a stronger version of yourself. The more you practice is the easier it's gonna be, and before you know it, saying no is gonna be feeling natural and more free. It's gonna give you freedom because you're gonna be freeing up your time and your mental space for actually doing things that matter to you. So if this video gave you some encouragement or a new perspective, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe if you're on your own journey to setting boundaries and creating a life you love. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.